So, welcome back to my show. This is Raul Balufe, Flipping Miami. I'm really excited to interview Leo today. What an interesting young man. I love meeting people, especially, I don't know, young dudes that stand out from the crowd. And pretty interesting story of how we got here. I was working at a coffee shop. We go to the same gym. There's a coffee shop in the gym. And it was like 8 p.m. on a Wednesday or Thursday or something. And I'm there working, doing stuff. And I just see this guy, I overhear him. He's a couple tables down, literally closing deals, like closing deals over the phone. And I remember his pitch. I might get it wrong, but at the end of the pitch, he was like, hey, my company typically charges somewhere around like $300, $395 to do this. But if you do it today, I'll get it done for you for $129. Does that sound fair? I remember, is that roughly the pitch?
Yeah. I'm like $199 and then $99 a month for at least 3 months. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, is that fair enough?
Yeah.
So I kept hearing him say that, and he was closing deal after deal after deal. So when he stood up, I went up to talk to him and started following him on socials. We got to talking a little bit. We're here on the show. Man, interesting young dude. He's got a lot going on for him. He's in the credit business. He's got some dope cars. He's training every day. Someone you absolutely have to follow. So dude, without further ado, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate that warm intro, making me look like the man, bro. I appreciate that.
Dude, and this guy's 23 years old, and he's got a lot going for him. So I have a lot to unpack here today. And the whole objective would be also to see if you can provide some tips to us and the listeners of what they can do to start making some money, or maybe go from A to B in their business, or, in their sales career. I know you're big on that. So, before we get into all that stuff, I just want to get to know a little bit about you. Take me from the top. So who was Leo in high school? Like, if we would have met in high school, let's say freshman year, sophomore year, like what was your attitude? What was your vibe? Were you a good student, bad student? You tell me a little bit about yourself back then.
Absolutely. So when I was in high school, I did swimming and I did water polo.
Oh, interesting.
So that was, all the Russian kids like to do swimming and stuff, So that's kind of the crowd I fed into. I wasn't a perfect student. I was actually really bad at school. I did a lot of partying, everybody smokes weed, drinks booze, does a lot of bullshit. It's just part of the high school experience. I remember I actually got arrested though, right before I got into high school.
Oh, yes. Before high school?
Right before high school.
So you're what, like 14 years old?
I was like 14 years old.
Damn.
Yeah. For just getting completely messed up. I remember, it was like the day after graduation, 8th grade, but it was like, I felt like I was in high school, so I was like, yeah, let's just get turned up. So the story with that was, I'm just gonna keep it 100. We just wanted to party. We're like, we're done with school. Let's just go do a bunch of bad stuff because we're done with school.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
You're 14 years old.
14 years old, yeah.
And you're living in Chicago at this point?
Yeah, in the suburbs. It's this town called Buffalo Grove / Arlington Heights.
Okay.
I'm a son to a single mom. She's a dentist. She does well.
Okay.
But I always saw her do well, but like not well. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody's thinking, I'm like, oh, because you're a dentist, you're gonna be super, super successful. You go to school, you must be somebody of high status, high money, high income. And I realized, I'm like, yo, that's not the case. And most people they get caught up in thinking like, hey, you know what? I gotta go to school to be successful. No, you don't. Yeah. My mom told me, she's like, dude, if you're not trying to, I don't think you should be a dentist, bro. She's telling me straight up.
I was gonna say, leaving high school, since your mom had that influence, like, did you think of becoming a dentist?
Yeah,
okay,
all the time. Oh, she's like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a dentist. I actually used to be a dental assistant when I was like 13, 14.
Oh no way.
And so I was like, maybe I should do this. And then I was like, bro, then what happened was I actually graduated a year early.
Okay.
From BG, Buffalo Grove, and it was 2016. Instead of 2017, where all my friends graduated. And I went to this community college called Harper for like 2-3 months. And I realized I did this like medical thing they were doing, like a first year seminar medical thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to do any of this bullshit. Like I'm sitting here, I'm like, my brain is getting fried just listening to this BS from this teacher. Cause I was actually doing well in door to door. That's what people didn't realize. I was making like $1,000, almost $2,000 a week, knocking door to door while I was in that college when I was 16.
Oh my God. That's like all the money in the world.
That's all the money in the world. When you're 16, you're making 1,000 G a week. You're like, what the hell? What do you, this teacher told me, oh, if you don't go to college, the most you'll make is $10, $11 an hour. I'm like, bullshit. I'm making probably more than you. You're making 50K. I'm making 60, 70K.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what really made me drop out of college.
That's crazy.
So I dropped out of college when I was 16, and then just door to door,
What was your, so you're getting into high school, you're already kind of like messing around, which is all good. That happens. Yeah. And then you get into high school, you start doing some sports, and you graduated early. So it seems, did you do well in high school grades wise?
No. I just realized, I just more output. That was my first time where I learned that more output, you're gonna make things faster for you.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to be. This is a big lesson for everybody. You may think that you may not be the smartest, but if you think that you're not the smartest, you just gotta hustle hard. Put the work in. Just go hard. Go hard. Go hard. That's the number one key.
Love that shit. Mm-hmm. And what was your first door-to-door type job? What was it? Selling what?
So I sold the Chicago Tribune newspaper.
Chicago Tribune newspaper, like a black and white, like little paper.
Yeah, like color and but also here's the thing: they also got a coupon book when they bought it. So I'd be lugging in my backpack a bunch of coupon books, and I would do that for like 4 or 5 years till 2020. Till the beginning of 2020.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you got that job, and literally your job was to carry in your book bag the coupons and the newspapers.
Well, not the newspapers. Just the newspapers. We just sign them up on the iPad.
Okay.
With a card, and it'd be like 26 card, 31 cash, and it'd be like it's like every Sunday, and it resubscribes after like a year or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I
damn.
Yeah.
How many what? That's wild.
So to answer how many, I'd sell like 15 to 20 a day.
15 to 20 subscriptions a day.
Yeah, with the coupon book, and I'd make like 30 to 40 bucks a pop. What? So I was making like $300-400, $500 a day.
Dude, that what's so crazy about that? Number one, I mean, it's incredible that you took that leap, especially so young, and with your mom having the influence that she was a dentist.
Yeah.
So like you think like, okay, my mother's a dentist, but I'm gonna go knock on doors and sell a newspaper. Like there's something that is like unique about that.
Thank you.
What was your perspective? Like what drove you to do that and not get a 9 to 5 or not get like some other job? Why'd you do that?
Yeah. So what happened was I actually was working at a nursing home and assisted living facility before the newspaper job when I was 16.
Okay.
Well, 15, 16 at time, 15 to 16. And I ended up quitting that job because I was just bad. Like I just got tired of washing dishes and like doing the dirty stuff. I just got tired. So I was like, screw it, I'm done. I showed up super late all the time. And they were like, hey, we have to have a talk. I'm like, I already quit. Fuck you guys. Like, I'm done.
I'm done with this shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
And then I went to the gym. It was this gym in Arlington Heights called Export in Chicago, northwest suburbs. And my buddy, Jacob, he's like, yo, bro, do you need a job? I'm like, you know what? I actually do need a job. And he's like, bro, you should come sell the newspaper with me, bro. We make good money there. I'm like, all right, I'll go. So I didn't know what it was. Wow. I didn't know if it was hourly. I didn't know if it was salary. I didn't know if it was commission. I didn't care. I just said, I need a job. So I went to the job. I did the interview. I may or may not have been under the influence of some kind of substance while I was on the interview, but you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping 100, man. Like when you're 16, you're degeneratized when you're 16. When you have no guidance, no proper leadership.
Right.
Like my mom wasn't a leader to me. I love my mom. She's my mom, but I'm like, dude, living hand to mouth as a dentist, I can't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like that's why you're lost. That's why you're confused. When there's no like strong leadership, like a $10 million a year father, hey man, I make $10 million a year. You're gonna do this, like militia style. It's hard for a kid to have a proper structure when there isn't like a good role model. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I kind of had to like seek out the role models. Like, hey, I gotta figure this out on my own. Otherwise, I'm gonna be fucked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, and then
that's
boom,
wild.
Yeah, and then boom. After the interview, the job was a day and a half or 2 days later. I started the first job. I had no sales in the first day, no sales until the last 20 minutes, back to back. I closed 2 customers back to back in this town called Bolingbrook, and I was hooked, man. The guys were like, dude, holy shit, what did you do, bro? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I just said some shit and it worked out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it begun for me. And then boom, I started going 6 days a week, door to door. They drop us off in the van. Sometimes we drive into like the manager's cars and stuff. You know how door to door typical door to door crews go. And then I just started every single day. Then I started making $500 a week. Wow, $1,000 a week. Wow, like when you hit those like milestones as a kid, you're like, dude, you could actually do something. You could actually make money. You know what I'm saying? So that's
wild, though.
That felt good. Yeah, man. That felt good.
There's so much there, man. Like obviously everyone wants to make money, at least for the most part.
Yeah.
If you say that money is not necessary, if money doesn't make you happy, you're just broke and you're
full of shit.
Yeah, and you're full of shit. Exactly. You don't give a shit.
I mean, look, people say, does money make you happy? I mean, bro, I'm 23 years old. I got a Lamborghini Huracan. You know what I'm saying? And I got an Audi R8, bro. Yeah. Every time I drive,
you're pretty fucking
happy, bro. I could have the worst shit happening in my life. I could have some crazy stuff happening, but I turn on the car, I'm good, bro. Yeah. I used to knock door to door, bro. I used to have a shitty Camaro. Like, life is amazing. It's all perspective. Gratitude is learned at the bottom. I remember like knocking the last door the last door, and like I didn't have a sale for 2 hours, and just that feeling of making that sale, that last customer, it was everything to me.
Yeah.
It was everything. Like I cried when I was like 17, 18. I got that last sale that I needed to make to hit my target. I cried, bro. Yeah. That's how serious it was for me.
Fuck, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
And what if everybody was that serious about their sales job?
Yeah.
You'd be at the top like that. But you guys are just, most people are just not serious, bro.
Yeah. And I want to talk to that. Like, what do you say to the person that's doing sales right now? Maybe they're getting out of high school, getting out of college. Maybe they were in a similar scenario. Maybe they were kind of like doing dumb shit in high school, and now they're like, all right, I need to take my life more seriously. I want to make some money. I see the guys with the Lambos, or I see the guys with the nice houses.
Yes.
What would you say to that person that they're like, all right, now they have a sales job, or maybe they just started their own company and shit's not going well, just shit's not going their way? Like, what do you say to this person?
I say you got to increase your output. If you're not working from the moment your eyes are open to the moment your eyes are closed, you don't deserve to be complaining. You know, like that's what happened to me. Like when I first got started in the credit business, everybody was so confused. I got involved in a network marketing company, credit repair business. I don't know if you guys heard of this company called FES or UWE, but anyways, it was great. You know, they did a great thing for me. I'm super grateful. God bless them. So I literally worked from the moment that my eyes were open to the moment my eyes were closed. And
pretty simple formula there.
Pretty simple formula, right? But what is work, right? Like work isn't like scrolling on Instagram
or looking at some YouTube videos. They're like, oh, these are gonna
Like don't get me wrong. Sometimes you do need to like in your rest time, like, you know, if you have a rest time, to look at some knowledge, get some knowledge. Okay,
books,
I'm gonna implement this in my business and actually implement it. That's okay to watch the video. But if you're just somebody that just binges on that stuff and just like lets that consume your entire life, and you're not actually doing deals, you see, I'm very blessed that I learned that work in door to door is actually knocking on doors and talking to customer. And like most people don't learn that until a while, like later.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm super successful at such a young age. Bro, I had an Audi R8 when I was 21. I lived in a mansion when I was 21. You know what I'm saying? Like I moved into Trump Towers when I was 20, all because of the credit business.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? In Collins Ave, Sunny out, beachfront $1 million condo. Like, bro, most people, they can't do that. But why? Because they don't know how to differentiate work from not work.
I like that. Yeah. Talk to us about that, because there's the same hours in the day. You know, you're 23 years old.
Yes.
You know, you have a bunch of stuff going on.
Yes.
There's people that are 30, 40, 50. Maybe there's someone 16. There's the same hours in the day. If you're working in a sales job, or you're working whatever job, or maybe you started your marketing business or a real estate business, whatever, how do you utilize the hours in the day? Like, what do you consider work? I know you said it was knocking on doors, but speak to kind of like the general population. Like, what is work? How do they increase their output with the time that is already given to them every day?
Absolutely. That is the best thing that someone needs to hear. I'm grateful that you asked that. So you have to find out what is the thing that makes you the money. As simple as that. It's like, is knocking on door, is making a call, is that what makes you the money? If that's what makes you the money, that's what you should be doing 95% of the time. All the other percent of the time, you studying your craft and get it better, or at the gym. Because when you go to the gym, you get adrenaline, and that adrenaline helps you stay in that grind, helps you stay in that aggressive closing, mode.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like every time that I kind of like stepped away from the gym, I notice I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little sluggish here, getting a little weak. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened to me.
Interesting. So you would say like the health, the fitness aspect of it is a really big part of your success, or a big part of anyone's journey.
Because you see, and that's where I found my door-to-door job, at the gym, coincidentally. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I was in a higher frequency place, and I attracted the opportunity when I was younger. Although the opportunity to most people, like 99% of people, they just don't make it in door to door. I've recruited and I've interviewed over like 200-300 people when I was like coming up through door to door sales.
Right.
My last year of door to door sales, I made over like 130K.
Okay.
And that was when I was living with my mom. That's when I stacked that 100K.
Damn.
Just from door to door, because when you have no expenses, it's pretty damn easy.
It's pretty easy.
Up 100 G's.
Yeah. You could, like you say, you make 130, you could blow 30, and you still got 100. You're chilling.
Yeah, and that's a good life.
Yeah.
And that was cool for me, because you experience winning. Like, I define winning as like you're just stacking and racking and you're banking. Like, here's the thing. It's kind of hard to be winning if you're just living hand to mouth. And I saw my mom do that, and I'm like, dude, you're a dentist, and you're still not able to get ahead. Bro, dude, it's so heartbreaking. It's like, dude, I can't live like this. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy, because something like that is very heartbreaking, or it is, but there's also a beauty to that, because when you realize that moment that you're like, okay, going to school, listening to my teachers, possibly becoming even a doctor. Like, although there's very successful doctors out there, but
of course,
just in general, on a financial perspective, once you realize that, okay, doing those things does not equal a huge financial success. Now you realize that shit, I'm actually in control of this motherfucker. You know, like I'm in control of what I can earn. It's not up to school. It's not up to my education. And although there could be a moment of like, you know, frustration or sadness, but then on the other side of that, it's like, it's so freeing. It's like, fuck, I could go out there. I can learn marketing. I can learn sales. I can do door to door. I can go and get clients. I can build this business. I can build that business. And then all of a sudden, like, there's a newfound energy. That's at least what happened to me. So it seems like you kind of fell, you took that and you like used it and ran with it of like, let me make some fucking money around here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%. And here's the thing, like, even when I was going door to door, like nobody was making 100K in that office. Like I just, that was done because I was like, you know what? I get the most like powerful feeling when I'm there 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And like,
interesting.
When you transition from being like a 5 day a week person to a 6 days a week person to a 7 day a week person, I think that's when you actually unlock that of like unlimited money.
7 day a week person.
Yeah. 7 day a week.
Which is basically working 7 days a week. You're on.
You're on. Yeah.
Love it.
You're doing high revenue generating activities. What people think, people get all their stuff wrong in business. They think they have to have a nice business card. They think they have to have a nice website or a nice company name. Dude, you got it all backwards. You got to have a good hustle.
Yeah.
You gotta get traffic.
Yes.
People think it's like, bro, the only thing you should be solving for every single day in your business is traffic. Like you got to just forget about everything and just be like, hey, I need traffic. That's it.
Stack the pipeline, man.
The pipeline, fill it up, make it wide, bro. Like that's
dope. And so, all right, so walk us through. So then you finish your door to door, you leave Chicago, you come to Miami, you start living at the Trump Tower, wherever you go, and you start getting into the MLM credit repair business. So I guess take me through your journey of what got you into credit repair, and then, you know, what was your journey to get to where you are today as far as like that business? And
So what happened was when Corona started, the door-to-door gig with Chicago Tribune, they just said no more, guys, for 2 months. I actually got a disorderly conduct ticket from the police because I was the last guy knocking.
Oh shit.
Yeah. In like a little town, LaGrange, Illinois, where, you know, whatever that down south. You guys, you guys haters, bro. But thank you for hating because you guys helped me. I appreciate you. You guys helped me get to the next level because you hate it. So I went from making 100K to over $500,000 a year because I combined my door-to-door discipline of like getting traffic, going through numbers game. Like I think every like salesperson, entrepreneur, like realizes that after like, okay, after a certain amount of things you do, after a certain amount of output, you get a certain result. And like when you're totally clear, when you have clarity, okay, I could do 100 calls and I can close 5 or 10 deals,
right,
or 20 deals or whatever. Like when you figure out those numbers, it's just boom. You just gotta go. You just gotta push. And if you're not consistent with those numbers, your system's flawed. You gotta tighten your pitch. You gotta just whatever it is. You gotta figure it out. Put some better psychology in it. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know. But anyways, back to where I know where I'm getting sidetracked. But
no, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Thank you. I stacked 100 G's in 2019. It disappeared to poor choices, poor investments. Okay,
happens.
You know,
happens.
It does happen. And then what happened? I went from stopping the door-to-door gig. And I reached out to this guy on Instagram. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you have a McLaren. You're a rich guy. Like, what do you do? He's like, bro, I do door-to-door too. I'm like, oh, shit, we're both fucked. Because Corona, he's in California. It's even more crazy than Illinois.
Yeah, no,
they're locking down.
They'll fucking shoot you out there.
So we're like, what are we going to do? So I'm like, bro, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're door-to-door guys. We can't knock right now. We have no income. I was like negative. I was negative 40K because of like a bad move that happened.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like,
and then your expenses go up.
I'm like, what am I going to do? And then he's like, bro, I have this connection in the credit business. You should look at it. I'm like, okay, I'll look at it. It's a whole, you know, natural MLM presentation. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, whatever. I have no other place to go.
Right.
Except I understand that there is a service market fit for people to get their credit repaired right now, especially because people are just going sideways with Corona. My credit was fine. I never had late payments collections because, you know, I always kept it tight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I realized that there's going to be a need for that. So then the whole thing exploded when I just started, you know, working that business, getting myself out there on Facebook and stuff. And I just basically had other people promote me and shout me out on their social medias. That's how I got started. And people think that they need to have like ginormous influencers to shout them out to make money. Oh my God, you are missing out a bunch of money on the table.
Really?
Dude, yo. So just to give you an example, I started by getting 10 to 15 to 20 people per day to shout me out on their Facebook wall. And
Okay.
tapping into their family and friends network. And that is how I started making actual money.
No shit.
Yes, because I fill my pipeline.
And would you pay these people, or you give them like a commission?
If they send me referrals, give them something,
Okay.
But most of the time, if they don't ask, they don't get. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
So I just took it to the next level. I just pushed it all the way to the max, and I went from making $2K a week, $3K a week, to $10K a week 6 weeks later.
Wow.
And that was. Oh my God.
Something happened there.
3 years ago, basically 3 years ago, around this time, that's when I moved in Trump Towers. Because when you start making $10K a week, okay, I could afford a $5,000, $4,000 place.
Yeah.
I can afford a couple $1,000 car. Stuff starts being sweet. we should call it. You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny, especially like living in South Florida. I mean, anywhere in the country, really, for that matter. Obviously, if you live in like, the boonies or whatever. But I really think like good life starts happening after like $250 a year. I believe
$250 minimum.
I believe minimum. Like that's kind of like where the good life starts happening.
Yes.
It's hard to explain until you just start making it. Then you're like, okay, I think I get it now.
Yes.
But so it seems like you were after that. I mean, let me ask you this, because I've heard a lot of things kind of you've already said, and it seems like you're a really driven person, or it seems like you've kind of had your mind focused on the money or focused on good life.
Yes.
Were you always this way?
Yes.
And
always.
why? Like what?
Always. Every time there was a problem in my life, it's because my mom didn't have money.
Really?
Or like it was just lack of money. It's like, man, I was like, what the fuck? Like every single time, I'm like, bro, like I want to have like a really, really nice car. I'm very lucky, my parents, my grandparents, and my mom, they put together some money to help me get a nice car when I was in high school. So I did have like a really nice car when I was in high school, like a $50K car. Nice. So they helped me out with that. My mom helped me out with payments and that. But then I realized, I'm like, bro, if you want to have a good life, like you need to have a lot of money. Like you can't just like depend on somebody. You can't depend on, the government or your family. Like that's not sustainable long term, at all.
Dude, and so you're 23 years old, and it's hard because, I mean, I started young. I started my business when I was 20.
Yeah.
So I started making money sooner. You lose some relationships and stuff, but there's still the 1% or the 2% that really make it, right? That make a certain amount of income and achieve a certain amount of wealth. And look, I know life's not about income, not all about wealth, but for the sake of the podcast and for the sake of the interview with you to get the most value, we're going to talk about money. So if you're uncomfortable about this, turn off the show, because, the goal here is that Leo's going to give you some tips on how to make some money and hope this inspires you. It's not to brag at all, but
exactly.
Dude, like why do people fail? Why do young guys and girls, why do people getting out of high school, going to college, starting their own business, doing sales jobs, marketing job, whatever, why do they why don't they make 200, 300, 400K a year? Like what's up?
Poor environment. Poor mental attitude.
Okay.
A lot of negative emotion associated with anything that they do. And it's like brakes. It doesn't let you drive fast. It doesn't let you go fast. So like, for example, for me, when I was going door to door, I was always positive. And I was like always just grateful, like always in my heart, like in my chest, like, I'm grateful, bro. I'm standing, I'm out here, I'm free. I can actually go knock and actually make something happen here. You know what I mean? That gratitude is what made me successful. But unfortunately, most people, they don't actualize the gratitude in their chest, in their heart. Like a grateful heart, it's not going to get the keys to the kingdom. That's how I see it. Like so there's just a negative association with that activity, that task. A lot of shame, a lot of guilt. But if you could remove those negative emotions and just replace them with positive emotions, that's what's going to help you be pushing forward, be pushing successful. Like that's how I see it.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Environment.
It wasn't, it's funny because I practice. It's funny in this notebook. Actually, I literally write gratitude every single day. I have a whole checklist that I go through. Like
there you go.
And
yes,
and
me too.
Really, yeah. And it's
full
funny.
2 pages every day. Affirmations, gratitudes, huge.
Done.
First thing I do.
Yeah,
get the mind right.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see people with the Lambo or you see people with businesses and stuff, and you don't really expect that answer. So I'm so glad that you spoke from that perspective because, we live in America. Or, if you're watching this, you most likely live in America. And if you do, we live in the best country to get rich, bro. Like it's
absolutely.
Go live in Ukraine, go live in Russia, go live in Thailand, go live in Colombia and try to get rich. Like you can, but it is astronomically harder. So we just checked off that box by being here. And so many people are just taking advantage of the system and not using their resources, not using all the shit that they can buy, education, people around you. And here's just a really good example of someone who just said, fuck it, I'm going to use it and I'm going to knock on some doors. I'm going to figure this shit out. Like, I don't care if it's hard. I don't care if I got to be out there 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Rain, sleet, hail, snow. And when I was in Chicago, I would even be grateful. My feet would be soaking like every other day and during the wintertime. Like I had to put bags over my feet, like when I was knocking door to door. Like if that's how committed I was for door to door to make sure I can get my sales. Because bro, I just saw it as I'm like, bro, all it is just a couple bags, bro. Keep me warmer, whatever. You know what I mean? And just crazy jackets, you know?
That's wild.
But that's where that gratitude comes from. It's like, hey, I have an opportunity to make some money. Am I going to take advantage of it? Am I going to make some money or make a lot of money?
Yeah.
You know, like, that's just the end of the day.
And so let's fast forward a little bit. What does your business look like today?
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing in the business, or what's your day-to-day like, that kind of stuff?
For sure. So all that I do, I help people with their credit scores. That's actually the same thing that I did when I first got started in 2020. Same as I think, just a much more fluid and better business now than than the first company that I started with, just because there's just higher delivery, better service, better support for people, and overall more results, more referrals. So
that's excellent. Is it, are you like partner with somebody? Are you working with somebody?
So I'm partnered with somebody. I of course I get generously compensated for my actions. But that way I get to do what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I'm really, really effective at the marketing and sales part. I love for other people to take over the operations, you know, payroll, all the stuff. Cause I think entrepreneurs get caught up. They think that they have to start their own business to be super successful.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. You know, some people, they do. You do have to start your own business. Depends on what your business is. But if you have something that you could just, you know, partner with somebody and they take over all the monotonous stuff that you don't want to do, and the stuff that you are really good at, you could just do that and get paid big for it. Yeah. Dude, you don't need to. What I am saying is that you don't need to start your own business to be hyper successful and make a lot of money. You know,
I feel so many people need to hear that. You know, I feel so many people need to hear that, because obviously, yes, it sounds sexy to start your own business, be your entrepreneur, but once you get into it, it's actually pretty dope if you can walk in somewhere.
Yes.
They give you a huge opportunity.
Yes.
Obviously treat you fairly with autonomy and things like this. Yeah. There's some key factors that need to play out for like a high achiever like yourself. But there's something really dope about going in there and just like, all right, I'm good at sales and marketing. I'm going to fucking crush sales and marketing. I'm going to get well compensated for it. I'm going to get rich as fuck. And I'm out. And I'm helping this person and I'm helping myself. And then you use that money to go buy assets or do whatever you want with it. And to do this, there's something really cool about that, and it's awesome to hear your perspective on that. Have you thought about like starting your own business? Like, have you weighed about those things?
So of course, you know, I've done stuff on the side, and every single time I always come, I realize I'm like, hey, you know what? I could do this, but I'm gonna do this when I'm like worth like 20 million, 30 million. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. For now, I have no problem partnering with somebody, maybe taking an equity position potentially with them. Like that's totally fine. Yeah. You know, you could do very, very well. But people think, oh no, I need to be the main guy. Like, bro, that's just all ego and pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
a lot of times it's fueled by ego and pride. I 100% agree with you.
But sometimes you have no choice. Sometimes you're like, I know something and I have this ability. Maybe that's how I see it for you. You're like, hey, I'm good at this. I have the skills of building a business. It's not black and white. People think it's, oh, what I'm saying is 100%. No, bro. It swings.
It's like a spectrum.
It's a spectrum. It's every situation's unique, but you have to be aware of that. It's just awareness. Intelligence is awareness, right?
Love it. Yeah. Speaking of that transitions me. I wrote a couple quotes that I got from your Instagram, which you got to be following Leo. Actually, if you can plug in your Instagram, what's your Instagram name?
My Instagram is Leo Lesnikovsky, LeoLesnikovsky.
Yeah,
first last name.
It'll be in the description or a link below there, because I know his name's a little challenging. But so I saw this on one of your posts and it kind of resonated. I want to get your feedback on it. So you said, you are potentially someone's hero, someone that looks up to you, and you're doing a disservice to yourself and to them if you're not working as hard. Essentially, I'm summarizing what you said. It was kind of like a long post. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I'm so grateful that you put that one, because that's a really important one for this type of thing.
Yeah.
So you got to be setting that example for yourself, like as hardcore as possible. Like for example, like you don't realize in leadership, most people are so unaware of that, how much their actions affect others. Like for me, when I was going door to door, I was very aware that if I didn't produce at 120, 130 deals a week, I knew for a fact that my people wouldn't produce at half or potentially more.
Okay.
So that's the kind of mindset you got to have when you're going to, when you're in a sales and leadership position. You have to always be aware, hey, whatever I do, they're going to do half of that. And whatever that I do that's bad, they're going to do 100x of that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So really that message originally created it for your team or, you know, for yourself or for others who have a team.
Yeah.
And basically what you're saying is that, hey, whatever you do, it's noticed by your team or by other people around you. And if you do something bad, they might mimic that. Or if you're at this level, they're going to be at this level. So if you raise your bar, they raise their bar.
Yes.
Something like this, right?
Yes. 1000%. That's what it goes down to. Like, you're somebody's here. Like, if you got to be hyper focused because you don't realize what you're doing could damage, how much it could damage somebody. Somebody looks up to you. You know? Like, people look up to me. I can't slip, bro. I can't do bad stuff. I can't do drugs. I can't do alcohol. I've been sober from alcohol for 2 years, bro.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't trust somebody who's always under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that changed for me when I stopped drinking. Yeah, I'm like, hey man, I'm not trusting myself right now. After I started to make a lot of money, you know, a lot of party, a lot of alcohol, I was drinking every day, whatever. I could do this. I'm the man. But there's a serious like effect down the line that could hurt you, like, and damage your body. And when you lose your body, you lose your health, you lose your energy, man. Like, when you lose your energy, you lose everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I love these types of conversations because it goes so introspective. And I think that, you know, financial success, entrepreneur success, sales, marketing success, things like that, a lot of it comes from within. Like the journey of being a high achiever or the journey of making tons of money is also a journey of improving yourself and how quickly you can become self-aware, how quickly you can notice what's good and what's bad for you, drinking, etc. And how quickly you can cut that shit out and get into the right environments. And there's pain to that, right? Because you have fun going to drink with your friends and doing this and that. And then, you know, when you get invited, and shit, like, damn, that sounds like fun, but I'm not going to do it. Like, there's some pain to that. It's like some fear and this and that. So
yes,
I mean,
1,000,000%.
You've been able to like cut that shit pretty strict.
Yeah. There's always, I'm very grateful that every single time, like, I started doing some bad stuff, I just withdraw it right away. I'm like, most people, they can't stop. I could stop.
Yeah.
Because like when I see a number drop, I'm like, this is game over, bro.
World's ending.
World's ending. You can't let your sales drop. Like, but because that's what I noticed. I'm like, and here's the thing. Like, when I was in the Trump Towers, like 2 months later, I got this blonde Russian girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And like, she's like 33. I lied to her. I told her, I'm like, I'm 30. You know what I mean? Because I look old. You know?
Yeah.
So what happened was I started drinking every single day. You know, I'm making 50 G's a month. I'm 20, bro. Imagine being 20 making 50 G's a month, bro. That's a blast, you know?
Yeah, especially in Miami. Yeah, shit, that's
Miami, bro. And then what happened was, you know, I'm drinking every day, drinking Henny with the Zevia. You know, I got my Zevia here. I had the ginger ale Zevia with the Hennessy.
I've never even seen that shit.
It's good because, you know, there's less crap than cola, right?
Oh, okay.
So what happened was I went from making 50K a month, and then September, October, I started making 35K a month. And I'm like, oh shit, dude. What's going on here? And I realized, I'm like, bro, you're drinking every day. You're spending extra time with your girl doing bad things you're not supposed to be doing in the times that you were working. And so again, intelligence is awareness. I was with her for 2 months. I'm like, hey, we're done, dude. Like, I'm done. I just ruthless breakup, ruthless, bro. Like, it's done. You know what I mean? It was nasty. Olga, if you're watching this, you know, I'm not sorry. You know, you're probably with another guy right now. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But that's how I see it. I'm like, hey, look, you got to sacrifice stuff. You know, if you want to get to the next level, you're gonna have to sacrifice. And I think people, they get caught up in relationships, they get caught up in friendships that are not serving them. And like, don't get me wrong, it's not like, oh, that person has to serve you, but you just need to just block out on 99% of people. The reason that I became successful is because I stopped talking to my parents. I stopped talking to my mom. Stopped talking to my grandparents. I cut out all my old friends, like, not like in a bad way, but like in the, hey man, I love you, but like, I'm just gonna love you from a distance type of way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I started making a lot of money. And that's what I advise for everybody to do. When you find that thing that's like working, you got to commit all your energy to it. And there's no time to talk with your grandparents. You can't be on the phone with your mom. You can't be on the phone with your dad. You got to be pushing, man. This is going to offend some people. I hope it does. Yeah. No. You know, if you're not offended, I did something wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? and that's why I was excited to get you on, because I'm like, a lot of people need to hear that message, man. A lot of people need to hear it. And it's uncomfortable to hear it because you're like, no, you can have balance and shit. Honestly, like, until you're worth a couple, you know, deca millions, maybe 10, 20, 30 million bucks, 50, 100, whatever. Until you're worth that, I don't really think you can have much balance, bro. I mean, it's the truth. Balance. Like, there's no balance. MJ, Kobe, they didn't even have fucking balance, bro. What's balance, bro? that balance is like equivalent to the word of poverty. You know what I mean?
I like that. The synonym. Right
Synonym to poverty. Seriously. Like my mom would try to tell me, so she'd comment, she's like, "Yo, Leo, but you need some balance. Gotta have that golden middle." Yes, I could be like you, right? You know what I mean? So I could be broke. Like no, I'm not doing that, bro. I need to drive a Lamborghini. Yeah. I need to have stacks and stacks. I need to just have so much cash that I'm exploding with cash.
Yeah, I love it.
You know what I mean? Like that's
fuck yeah.
And you don't get that from balance.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't. No. Especially not this world, bro. It's competitive out here, man. Bro. Especially as a man, you know, young man, old man, whatever. Like, it's competitive, bro. There's people trying to fucking take your business, bro. If you're doing sales, you're probably talking to a bunch of prospects every day. Like, well, I'm considering another prospect, or I'm considering another credit company. It's like, no,
you got to do it now.
Yeah, like let's go.
Give me your credit card right now.
Yeah,
no bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give them a choice. Don't give them a yes or no. Give them a hey, this way or this way within me. You know, what I mean? That's really important.
And I'm curious because I hear you speak, and it's really inspiring. It's really there's a lot of polarity in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are gonna get some people upset, which is fine.
Yeah, but we're gonna get a lot of attention for this.
I love it. And
we're gonna blow up.
Let me ask you: do you have a chip on your shoulder?
Probably, yeah. Because you know, I saw my friends and family. You know, well, not my friends, but my family. More like associates, acquaintances. They have like parents with like a lot of money, and I was like, man, my mom's this person. She's a dentist, but she's not making all this money. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that started. It's like, hey, I need to live up to the name. I need to live up to my mom's name. She's a dentist. She makes a lot of money. Supposedly, I got to make way more. That's how.
That's kind of like what started you. And I'm sure now your missions become different.
Yeah, and it starts off immature, right? It starts off shallow, but then it's like, okay, now I've been deep in this. Now it's like, bro, I'm balling. I got to keep balling. I got to keep helping other people, right?
Yeah. That's so funny. It started the same for me. My main mission when I started my business was, all right, I got to buy a Porsche and I got to move out of my mom's house.
There you go.
I was 20 years old.
I love your Porsche red. It's sharp, bro.
So I'm like, those are the two things I got to do. And once you complete that, then you're like, okay, that was shallow, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it got me going, it got you going to go from A to B. It's like, all right, I got to make my first 100 racks because whatever. I want to buy this. I want to move to Miami. Fine. But now once you get there, then your missions and your visions become a lot bigger and become a lot more meaningful. Yeah. So it's okay to start shallow. Like, you got the Lambo, you got the R8.
Yeah.
I think I saw you had an Aston before.
Yeah, I had dude. In January, I cashed out on an Aston Martin.
Cashed out on the Aston.
And then 3 months later, I said, screw the Aston. Let's burn the Aston, put it into the Lambo.
So okay. I wanna talk about this because it's a big topic now. And between expensive material things, and then I kind of want to get into the women relationship thing. I'm sure totally young guy, Miami, tons of money, things like this, a lot of things your way. Yeah. I've experienced quite a bit of that as well.
You understand?
I'm sure a lot of people watching this, if you're out here, anywhere really for that matter. But when it comes to materialistic things, right? The cars and the houses and the nice condos and stuff, how would you rate that in a scale of like, how important is it for someone to have these materialistic goals? Like, can you become successful without ever wanting to get a Lambo, without ever wanting to have a nice crib? Like, or does that help you? Has it hurt you? Tell me a little bit about what's your mindset behind the materials.
So the materials, man, I love the materials, man. Yeah. I love my materials.
Yeah.
You see, for me, I think that you could totally win, without having to show it.
Right.
But the problem with not wanting the material stuff is that like there's like a standard of money that you have to make before you can get it. And for me, I realized I'm like, hey, bro, I need this stuff. Like, I can't just be without this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and most people, they think, oh, you're showing off. You're not being frugal. I'm like, bro, you have no idea what my financial statement looks like. You can't say like what I can or can't do, bro. This is just a fraction. It's a small fraction. You know what I'm saying? But most people, they think like, because they're so raised in that middle class environment where everybody's hand to mouth. Right. That's why they're like, oh, that's so unpractical.
Yeah.
But for me, I realized like, hey, if I can't show this, that person's not gonna trust me.
Right.
Like that's and I never, when I sought out mentors, I'm like, bro, I can't see like. If you're somewhat of a successful person, like Grant Cardone says, it's gonna show up somewhere materially. Right. Like
it could be a shirt, it could be both, it could be a car, it could be a watch,
whatever. Exactly. And that's where the trust comes from. If you're not flashy, like every single time I reached out to somebody that was doing better than me, bro, they had a Lambo. They had a McLaren.
Yeah.
They had a mansion. They had like, I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna. It's hard for me to like mentally learn from somebody that like doesn't have that flash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, that's a sad truth. That's another statement that might piss you off.
It might,
it might piss you off. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's the fucking truth.
It's
I'm
the
so
truth,
glad you
bro.
said it that way because
liberating, right? You feel free now.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's actually like understands.
like yes, can you be successful and can you have money without having a nice car and stuff like that? But it's true. It'll show. It's gonna show.
Yeah.
And when that stuff starts showing, there's a barrier to entry to get a nice house or to get a nice boat or these things. And when people see it, they're like, okay, this guy is making enough money to enter that world or enter that barrier, and they're still out here and they're still conducting business and stuff. So they must be doing financially well. And I want to be financially well, so I want to learn from this person.
Exactly.
So it helps a lot.
Exactly. And like some people, and like there's this whole like movement on internet, on social media, like, oh, don't show off. Like just let your hustle speak for. I'm like, yeah, of course I do. Of course I show them. I work hard. I put my work in. I put my hours in. But bro, the time that I'm not like, bro, I'm probably out for like 10 minutes. This is the most joy I get out of my day. I just drive for 10 minutes. I'm having fun. That's it. No more than that. And people think it's shallow to have all this expensive stuff. I'm like, bro, no, it's not, bro. You know how hard it was for me? Dude, you know how hard it is? Dude, it was for me. It was difficult to get the car. I was like, bro, I might be wasting money. Yeah. It's a big chunk of money, bro. I put 140 large down on this Lambo. You know what I mean?
Just pay cash.
Yeah, no, 140 half. And I finance the rest.
Okay,
I'm a credit guy. I got to practice what I preach. Right?
Gotcha.
You know, and I pay $4,000 a month on the Lambo, 16-month loan. You know,
right.
I'm not fucking doing that 144 a month bullshit that you guys, that you entrepreneur guys are doing. But because anybody can, you know what I mean? But that's how I saw it.
I love that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real talk, bro. That's real talk. I actually think, and maybe I get some shit for it. I don't give a shit, but I actually think the toys should be paid off cash. Like I got my Porsche cash.
Totally
I got stuff cash. Obviously, if you're getting a 16-month loan, it seems like you're trying to get there fast.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. The way that I see it, I'm like, bro, as long as you're making a lot more money,
exactly.
Like you got to make 5, 6, 7, 8. You know,
if it's like a nominal amount from your monthly income, it's fine. You know. At some point, I had payments on my thing, but like my intent was like, let's get this shit paid off and let's get all your extra money to make some more money. You know.
Hell yeah.
But dude, so yeah, like, and now I kind of want to shift gears a little bit. You had another post that I really liked. It says, I'm going to summarize it a little bit, right? So it said, you basically said, I don't recommend guys staying with the same girl too long because there's not too much growth. Yeah. You know, you might be with the same girl all the time and then you're not growing and you're staying stuff.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
I'm so happy you put that one out. That's so important. Like, so I had a relationship when I was like 18, 19, my first girlfriend, you know, I was completely in love with her. And, you know, and that was when I first started actually getting ahead. When I first stacked my 30, 40K, you know what I'm saying? And I realized like me spending that extra time with her was actually destroying me because of her poor habits. You know, she was addicted to drugs, you know, just negative mindset for the most part, living in the past, depression, that hyper depression. And if you're around that too long, that grief can seep into you. And like people have like problems, like 90
deep rooted.
90% of people actually have problems. Like me, I'm grateful. I actually realized, like, I'm looking at the world. I'm like, dude, I don't have any fucking problems. like some real deep psychological problems.
Right.
Yeah, I may have a chip on my shoulder. Like, yeah, I want to be super successful. Like, that's probably it.
Right.
But that's the problem. If you guys stay too long, like when you're a young guy coming up, want to be an entrepreneur, there's just certain things that just may not align with that person with you. You know what I mean? Like, like that was the problem. Like, and that's why it had to end because I realized I'm like, hey man, I need to be 7 days a week. I can't be guilt tripped for putting in that work, putting in 7 days a week, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not happening. Like, and you just got to be like, you got to be honest with yourself. Like, hey, am I putting in that work 7 days a week? Do I have the right to talk this shit and be like, all right, bitch, we're done? You know what I mean? Like, do I have that? Like, if not, then go ahead, stay with her and stay broke, bro. You just gonna, you could totally be with that girl and just have a horrible life later on. But there's some exceptions. That's if that girl is growing and at the same pace as you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And look, and I think it's really good advice, by the way. And it's just like we talked about earlier. It's a spectrum. It's not black or white. It's not like, oh, Leo says I can never be with a girl for more than 2 months. No, it's not what he's saying. He's saying like, hey, if you're really out there to get money, if you're really out there to get success, and the girl, your partner, is not fucking supportive with it. Yeah. She's not supportive. She's not like greeting you at home at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. when you get home, like happily talk to you. If she's texting you at 5, like come home. Yeah. You know, it might not be the thing, right? If you find someone that's like with it and she's growing too and stuff, then it might be good. But I think it's big because I do see, you know, you come across people, right? And I have some friends in the past and I meet some people on the streets and stuff like that. And I see that the relationship is hindering their success. Like I see a lot of potential in this human being, could be a boy or girl, guy or girl. And I just see their partner, not that they're bad people, but they're just bad for them.
Yes.
And it's really stopping them from fucking growing and taking off. And it's like,
Yeah.
what a shame. You got all that talent, you got all that ambition, and you have your partner that you think loves you, and they do love you, but they're holding you back.
Yeah. And that's not love, bro.
Yeah.
That ain't love. That's just addiction. That's just addiction to pleasure. And the pleasure is a vice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not, like people think
That's
that
true. Love is a high, man.
It's a high.
Or the,
love or infatuation or whatever that is, or lust. Like that's,
The lust,
dude, that's just another drug, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. I was addicted to drinking alcohol, smoking weed, and doing all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like when I look back at it, I'm like, damn, that was just another avenue of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, unless there's like a constructive relationship where the person's like pushing you, like, hey, you're doing good, do your thing. I don't care how long it takes, do whatever you got to do. But when there's like that, like guilting you, like, and like playing games with you while you're out there working, like I ain't doing that shit, bro.
Yeah.
You say do that shit with a 9-to-5 guy.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you know what I'm saying. Like, so that's how I see it. You know, and you know, of course, it was very difficult for me when I broke up with her, and like it was really painful.
Right.
You know, heartbreak. You know, I loved her, I cried. You know, whatever. But then you move on, and then you work hard. I got shredded. I got abs, bro. And then after I got shredded, I stacked my first 100 G's, and then I took a different girl with me down to Miami. You know what I'm saying? And I rested the R8. You know,
And then all of a sudden it's like poof.
and then all of a sudden the money's gone, and you're like, oh shit, I'm fucked again. You know. But here's the thing: the beautiful thing about that is, even when you stack the money and you bank it, you learn a skill to stack the money. So even if the money disappears, you know deep down, if you're a true winner, you could remake it and you could make a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's been many times where even recently, I put $300,000-$400,000 cash into an investment, and I just said, fuck it, bro. I don't give a fuck. And that was like all the money that I had. I just put $300,000-$400,000.
Wow.
Screw it. Guess what? 6 months later, doubled up. You know what I'm saying? But like but how? Because you got to take a chance.
Yeah.
If you don't take a chance, there's no opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But the reason that I was comfortable doing that is because I have a high emotional bank account. And where do you get the high emotional bank account? From the doors, from the calls,
Yeah.
like
Fuck yeah.
the action. You know what I'm saying? That's where that fearlessness.
We
comes
talked about it a little bit offline before we started, you know, getting to know you a little bit more. And, you know, my business when I started was tons of cold calls, you know, calling homeowners, hey, do you want to sell your house, and rejection. And until this day, we still do that shit, you know.
Now that's the lifeblood.
Yeah. Now we have a sales team. But even me yesterday, I spent 30 minutes just dialing our leads, and I'm like, let me get in this bitch. And I'm always constantly relearning, kind of jumping back in there with my team.
You have to.
And speak to that. Like what, you know, you know, Grant Cardone has a bunch of, you know,
God bless him. God bless Grant
He's
Cardone.
got a bunch of hate, but overall, man,
God bless him,
what
bro.
the guy speaks like, and he talks about, I think every young man should start with a sales job. I started in the car sales, and you know, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because once you get uncomfortable and you got a client sitting in front of you and you're trying to close them to make 200, at that time my commission was $250.
Amazing.
When you have a credit repair thing and you're trying to make a commission, or you're knocking on doors, like, you wake the fuck up. So like, what's your advice to somebody maybe getting into sales, or like maybe they're thinking about which career path to go? They're 19, 20 years old. What and why?
Yeah, I 100,000,000% agree with you, bro.
Yeah.
Like they need to get a sales job. Number one, any kind of sales job. It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
get car sales, financial services, insurance, credit repair, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like just do any of that. And this is my advice to you. When you go into that, you go study the top guy there, the most effective guy, and you'd be like, hey man, I'm gonna be your servant for 2 months, and I'm gonna listen to you and take notes on what you do, and I'm gonna copy your gestures, copy your mannerisms, copy the way you talk, your tonality, everything. How much output you do, how many I'm gonna copy all those metrics, how many phone calls. Dude, that is a hyper super fast way to get successful. Just model that person, do what they're doing. Don't do what they say to do what they're doing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man. That's one of the cheat codes. That's one of the shortcuts to get success, especially in the business, especially in sales and stuff, bro. Just follow this guy. Even to this day, I invest probably almost 70 to 80K a year in coaches and business mentors and stuff, because shit changes. Things keep growing. You got to keep growing. Your brain's got to grow. You got to, you know, there's new ways to do marketing, new ways to do sales. If you don't have any money, then go and work for somebody, learn from them, you know, do shit for free, learn. But if you got some money, invest in coaches, invest in mentors. I think that's the biggest cheat code that in America, I mean, this might be in other countries, I don't know, but just in general, like there's a lot of poor information out there. There's a lot of shitty, you know, coaches and stuff like that. So definitely do due diligence.
Yeah, of course.
But if you can find the right one, bro, I mean, I don't know, like, I'm 30 years old. I've achieved quite a bit. I still have a lot to go. You're a young dude. You've achieved so fucking much. And it's probably because you hung out with the right people that were making more than you, doing more than you. Whether you paid for them or not, doesn't really matter. But if you have some money and you can buy the access to just talk to this person every 1-2 times a week, once, whatever. Yeah. Like, fuck. That's
just law of exposure, getting around people. Like when I was like in 2021, I paid $40,000 to go visit Dan Pena.
Yeah. Oh, you went to that?
Yeah, for the castle.
Oh shit, how was that,
so
bro?
It was crazy. It was awesome. It was
really.
I was drunk the whole time. Full disclosure, you know what I mean? But I just did it just because.
I feel like so is he. He seems like
he's drunk the whole time too.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great time. And the reason I paid it wasn't necessarily because like I wanted to pay it to learn the information, because all his shit's for free online. But I just did it because like he helped me during that time when I was transitioning from door to door to the financial services, cold calls, phone sales. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
On credit repair, and I was just listening to him in the background, and just brainwashing myself with him. Because guys, you guys get brainwashed by your family and friends, and it destroys you because the shit that they know is fuck all. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who you going to be listening to? You can listen to a gazillionaire, or you listen to your Joe Schmo that makes 40, 30, whatever, thousand a year. Like, bro, you got to be very careful of what you're feeding your head consciously and subconsciously, because it directly and indirectly affects your life.
Nice,
1,000%.
bro. Nice, bro. Man, that's cool, bro. There's a lot of nuggets on this one. This is definitely one that you got to listen to 2 times, rewind it, listen to it. Whether you're in the credit repair business, sales, marketing, maybe you're working for someone, maybe you're, there's just so much shit here to unpack. I mean, dude, 23,
thank you, bro.
Have that cash, have everything you're doing. Also the mindset, like obviously the money's great, but forget that. Like the mindset, the gratitude, the work ethic, like that is worth more than the money in the cars, in my opinion. I think like you could lose all that shit today.
I could lose all shit tomorrow. I'm fucking good again.
Tomorrow you're good again, man.
I could go make, say X amount. Cause here's the key. When you stack that money, you, like I said earlier, you learn that skill. You learn a discipline. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I have no fear.
Yeah.
So, that's it.
And then when you're operating without fear, it's a whole new game, man. So
you're in love. Your fear and love can't coexist, right? So you're grateful. You're feeling good.
Love it, bro. Last question is, before we wrap it up here, what's next for you, man? What are something you're excited about? What is some future vision plans for you, and how can the audience connect with you?
Yeah. So what's next for me? I want to help other people do the same thing that I did. I wish I had somebody like me, kind of like give me a blueprint, give me like a path to go when I was coming up in the credit repair, because dude, I figured that shit out like 80% on my own. But now I have a system that works consistently, that prints money. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Metaphorically speaking. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you got to have some discipline. Yeah. But if you can have the right information and execute with the right discipline, you're going to be very, very successful. That's with anything, period. But yeah, that's really it. If you guys want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Leo Lesnikovsky. I also started a YouTube channel. I'm doing shorts and stuff. Nice. So, and I see you're out here doing YouTube, bro. I'm like, I gotta get on YouTube. Because you inspired me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just lit that. I'm like, I gotta do this stuff. Yeah. Because it's too easy, bro. I just pay a person to do all my stuff. That's it. Yeah.
And it's an investment in the beginning. You might not get it back, but it's just something that you put in and you bank on yourself. So it's if you fail to make that investment in creating content for yourself, that speaks a lot about yourself. It's like, fuck, do you even trust yourself? Like, do you even believe that you can fucking do something or inspire people? And if you don't, then you're probably not paying for your content. I think it's a huge thing. So, I mean, it's incredible to see you out there.
Bro, thank you for inspiring me, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, bro.
So definitely check him out. The link will be in the bio, or the link will be in the description. Check out Leo. I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.